Welcome back, America. Noah C. Rothman, senior writer for National Review on the Editor's Podcast, joins us. Noah, you are my New Jersey guy, and I always know what I don't know. I don't know New Jersey politics, other than Chris Christie, and so I've been following the race from afar. Looks like jackfornj.com. I think that's the name of his website. Tell me about the race and whether or not the federal shutdown will impact it at all.
I don't know if the federal shutdown will impact it all. Certainly not as much as it does in Virginia, where in Northern Virginia there's a lot of federal workers who will be enlivened by the shutdown. But in New Jersey, I think less so. So there are some structural obstacles before Mikey Sherrill, who's the Democratic nominee, for governor. Democrats have not secured, first of all, Phil Murphy was the first Democratic governor to win 2 consecutive terms since Brendan Byrne in the 1970s. A lot of Democrats in the state have a tendency to either lose re-election or be scandalized out of their office. And Democrats have not been able to secure 2 consecutive terms and then a third term in the governor's race since the 1960s. So it's rare that if she pulls this off, it'll be a feat. That being said, the polling does indicate that she has a pretty sizable lead and a stable lead. You can't like her trajectory. Over the course of the summer, her polling has been going down. Jack Ciattarelli's been going up. But depending on the poll you look at, with the exception of Emerson, which is a quality poll, and shows a tight race, a 1-point race, every other race shows her with a lead outside the margin of error. But she's had terrible news cycles. One terrible news cycle after the other, leading with most recently with this that she's very incensed about, this leak of personal information relating to her time as a student in a military academy, in which she was caught up in a cheating scandal, not participating in the cheating scandal according to her or any of her compatriots, but she was standing in solidarity with them and did not walk for graduation. And this resulted in the release of some of her private information, not publicly, but to journalists and to the Ciattarelli campaign. And the Democrats are crying foul about it, trying to generate a lot of sympathy. As far as I can tell, the race essentially boils down to this dynamic. The Sherrill campaign is trying to nationalize it. Every ad they run is about Donald Trump and Jack Ciattarelli's closeness with Trump and how MAGA he is and how MAGA, you're not MAGA. Don't you remember that, New Jersey voters? So you want to vote against MAGA. And Ciattarelli's campaign is emphasizing local issues, emphasizing property taxes, which is the lead issue that most New Jersey voters care about, emphasizing the increase by 3-fold of the average power bill in this state over the course of the summer. And I think a lot of that's generating traction. And the last governor's race in 2021, Ciattarelli was the nominee as well, and he way outperformed expectations. Nobody saw him coming as close as he came to the governor's mansion in 2021, beating the polls. Now, maybe that's COVID-era stuff and, the problems with polling in the COVID era, or maybe the polls just can't capture Republican voters, and we got indications that they don't capture Republican voters very well in 2024. So who knows, but Ciattarelli does have a puncher's chance in New Jersey.
I read the story about the release of her military records, and it's unfortunate that the FOIA officer did not delete the personal information. It also has nothing to do with Jack Ciattarelli. Nothing. Zero. His
campaign was the recipient of that information, and it was a third party too, but nevertheless.
Right. Yeah, and so there is no sympathy to be had there. But what I didn't understand is that the Annapolis Honor Code is you shall not tolerate nor tolerate other people who cheat. You shall not cheat or tolerate people who cheat. I thought she got winged by it because she knew someone who was cheating and didn't turn him in. Do I have that story right or wrong?
That's my understanding of it as well, is that she was not a participant in this scandal, but she's in solidarity with her fellow students who were. She declined to walk during the graduation.
Okay, yeah, that would be interesting to find out because the honor code is pretty strict. If you know about someone who cheats, you're supposed to turn them in, and they take it very seriously. Now, tell me about property taxes in New Jersey. California stays deep blue because of Prop 13. No one's getting priced out of their house. New Yorkers are getting priced out of their house, and I know that from New Yorkers. Is the same thing happening in Jersey?
I can't say if there's been a rash of individuals who have lost their homes as a result of property taxes going up. But property taxes go up, and they go up pretty regularly. It's a municipal level issue, so you can't really lay it at the feet of the state. But we have property tax rebellions in this state about once a generation, and we're due. Jim Florio in 1993 arguably lost his re-election to Christine Todd Whitman over property taxes. You could say that in the wake of the financial collapse in 2008 and the burden of property taxes on top of a sluggish economy contributed to Chris Christie's victory in 2009. It's been a minute. And certainly because this is the top issue for New Jerseyans, the last poll I saw had 30% of New Jerseyans listing property taxes as their top issue. Every other issue, as far as I remember, and I think this was Quinnipiac, is down in the single digits. So this
What
is a
about
cost of
crime?
living issue. Crime is up there, but again, single digit issue. And that's an issue everywhere. Property taxes are kind of unique to New Jersey because New Jersey has a social covenant in which we have really, really high property taxes. And the thing used to be, Hugh, that we had really, really high property taxes, but we had no gas tax. So it all balanced out, right? And then I think it was about 2016, and this was under the Christie administration, that we acquiesced to having a gas tax. So the whole New Jersey social covenant has just been broken. And that's been brewing for a while in the background that may come to a head in 2025.
Now, my last question about New Jersey. I hate the New Jersey Turnpike. I have to drive it a couple of times a year. Does that drive people crazy too?
I don't think it's as bad as the Garden State Parkway. This is a purely subjective assessment of New Jersey highways, but I can tolerate the Turnpike, particularly when you get down south, more than I can the New Jersey Garden State Parkway, because just the lanes are far too small. But this is getting picayune.
And are you starting to vote already? Virginia, I can vote as soon as I get back to the state, which is soon. Do you get to vote early in New Jersey, and are the numbers up?
You can vote early in New Jersey. Ballots went out quite a while ago, and they're being received, as far as I know. I don't vote personally by mail. I much prefer to go to my municipal building and shake hands with people and pull the lever, like, sort of a civic obligation as I see it. So I don't have much personal experience with absentee ballots, but we do have an absentee ballot regime here, and ballots went out.
Well, we have early voting in Virginia,
late
so I
September.
get both. I get to vote at my convenience, and I get to go to the registrar of voters and pull the lever, which I also prefer to do. That way you know it got there. Noah C. Rothman, follow him on X from National Review. Good to see you, Noah. I'll be right back, America. Don't go anywhere. It's the Hugh Hewitt Show.